welcome everybody, Instagramly and friends. This is your host QuiySpeaks, and this is Talented Tuesdays, brought to you by the GoldenKey Foundation. I see you guys are getting started early with the comments, so I guess I'll mention now the comment section, of course, is always open for you to leave comments, ask questions for anything that you think I might be missing. When I ask our guests for the evening any questions, feel free to ask any additional questions. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest, Trell, who's going to tell us a little bit about herself, where she's from, and how she ended up on Talented Tuesdays.
All right. So hello everyone. You can follow me on IG as well as Facebook. What other social medias out there? Snapchat. At It's Trell, baby. Like Kai said, I'm from Tampa, Florida, born and raised, and I went to Savannah State around in 2012. I did 4 years and I graduated from there with my bachelor's in forensic science with a concentration in chemistry. And then I ended up at FIU immediately the fall semester in 2016. And now I'm pursuing my doctorate in biochemistry. But upon getting there, that's how I ended up being in a group called Black Miami.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about Black Miami.
Yeah, so Black Miami is just a group of, I would like to say, intellectuals. It's a group of minorities, basically. But we do, not to say, we do entertain, other races and things like that. But we're a group of minorities who are pursuing doctorates, masters. Even if you're an undergrad, we definitely accept you too, because the mindset is to be able to give everybody, you can go to anybody in the group to achieve anything that you need. So there's people we know who are auctionists, like who have auction license.
Oh, wow.
There's people who make music, who make beats. There's just so much that's in that group that you can get. And I was fortunate enough to meet the people in that group because I didn't know nobody when I got down here. The only person I knew was my cousin, but he was an undergrad. Okay. And so, being able to meet other people like yourself in an institution that's, a PWI, it was, and coming from an HBCU, it's culture shock. Right. So definitely being able to see other people like you and they're actually on the same path as you. And I mean, of course, like, we turned up too. So that was another thing. So that I really liked that, everybody was focused on their education, but at the same time, they knew how to relax and have fun and go from there. That was like really great.
So tell us like the beginning phases of Black Miami and how it got started.
So we actually had this get together called Chicken and Drink.
Chicken and Drink?
Chicken and Drink. Okay. It was called Chicken and Drink. And
wait, drink with an A or an I?
With an A. It was with an A. It was an A. And literally everybody invited everybody that they knew, even if it was somebody that didn't know, or if you wanted somebody to meet this person. The person I got to meet was Alice Boone, and shout out to Alice because she's a real one. If I wouldn't have met her, I definitely would have never been a part of Black Miami. And basically she had it at her spot. We all brought food, definitely brought drink, and we just communicated and got to know each other. It was just like one of those experiences where, like, as you become an adult, you go into these environments where you don't know anybody, and you got to be able, to conquer that fear and network. That was like a prime example of networking where it actually worked out, because from there I was able to actually join this academic organization called McKnight. Oh, okay. And they are going to present the opportunity for me to have a dissertation fellowship. They travel to Tampa for meetings. They also have workshops in Tampa where they help you draft your dissertation, edit your dissertation, or any type of writing that you may be doing at the time, whether it's an article or anything like that. It's just because I met those people in that environment, I was capable of seeing these other opportunities. So literally Chicken and Drink was the beginning of Black Miami. My advice from that is don't be afraid to network. Yeah. You have to network. You have to. And that's, with if it wasn't for meeting Herson, and I met Herson in an Uber ride. For real? Yeah. I was his Uber driver. Oh. I was doing Uber for a little bit of extra cash because as a grad student, you do not make enough money.
That must have been an entertaining Uber ride.
It actually, how do I want to say this? I seen Herson at this Martin Luther King event that McKnight held.
Okay.
And he was speaking. And then I just so happened to pick him up when I was doing Uber. And I was like, weren't you on the panel for that Martin Luther King thing? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I remember you, and da-da-da-da. And we just got to talking, and he was like, yeah, let's hang out one day. And then, just like that. Like, you can't be afraid to talk to people. You can't be afraid to talk to strangers. Like,
yeah, definitely.
You gotta be open. And I think my personality has taken me far. And that's how I was actually capable of creating Talk About It Thursdays. There's definitely a lot of people in Black Miami that are associated to that, that help with that. And that's how we were capable of meeting. Because if I wouldn't have met Herson and then invited him to talk about it Thursdays,
wasn't going to invite
Herson wasn't going to invite you, then we would have never met.
Yeah. So a little backstory for those who, just to give you guys a little bit of relativity. So I met Trell at her event, Talk About It Thursdays, and it's about time we got Trell on the show, because actually 2 or 3 of the guests that I've had previously on Talented Tuesdays I've met and have performed at Talk About It Thursdays. So, that's just to give y'all some relative background about, like, what Talk About It Thursdays is and how it played a crucial part in Talented Tuesdays.
Oh, wait, somebody said awesome event.
Yeah,
Did you go?
Yeah, that's Lon. She was there.
Okay.
Yeah. Me, Lon, Shanae, Herson, we all pulled up.
Yeah.
And, I see some new people tuning in, as well as some folks on your live as well. Just want to remind you guys.
Yeah, I got a few Tuesdays, people. Yeah.
Waving at you all. This is Talented Tuesdays, brought to you by the GoldenKey Foundation. I would love to hear you guys' comments and questions. Feel free to, comment and ask questions in the comment section. Just make sure to keep it positive. So, it's funny that you brought it down, Talk About Thursdays at the perfect time, because I was going to ask if that was something that, you branched off and got started on your own, or did, like, Black Miami play a crucial part in helping you out with that?
So it was kind of like one of those things where, like, you're sitting around and there's a lot of people that have talents, and it was an idea that I definitely had, and it's, how do I want to explain it? So I don't know if De La Soul, you proposed to your girlfriend at De La Soul. So Alexis is actually, she gave me some advice, and it was a few of us from Black Miami that were sitting down talking to her and trying to figure out where we could take Black Miami at the time, and she was just trying to, give us advice on, like, where you need to start. You need to have this specific type of demographic. What's your target audience, things like that, because you can't go into a situation blind. Right. You know what I mean? And for me, I was like, I think a open mic night would really, be something great to put Black Miami on, to showcase a lot of talent that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to. And I hadn't heard of any open mic nights. And I'm the type of person about, like, doing new things and trying to figure out my niche and figure out what I like to do. And I've always liked to do poetry. And so back home, we have this awesome event that happens every Thursday night, I want to say, and it's called Spoken Word. And I just really like the vibe. I like the environment, and I kind of just wanted to incorporate that into the Miami life and bring that to FIU. And so that's where Talk About It Thursdays came about. Right. And we did it for the time you came was really the 3rd time we had ever thrown that event. And 3rd or 4th, and the fact that it did what it did, the numbers it did, the amount of people that came out, it was just amazing. And it was something I knew had a lot of potential. It just so happened to be towards the end where people were getting ready to take final exams and go back home. And it was just like, it was a great way to end it. But at the same time, I've had a lot of time to think about in what direction I want to take it, the type of environment I want to have. And Hookah Inn is great. If you haven't been to Hookah Inn, definitely stop by. They're there every day. They open up around, I think, like 6. It's right across the street from FIU. Great hookah, great vibe. And that is where Talk About It Thursdays is held. And so I think the environment is something that I definitely want to keep with that, as well as I just want more people to come out. And we're in a hiatus right now, but we'll definitely be back. And if you want more information on that, definitely follow at Talk About It Thursdays on IG. So how did you go about looking? So when you decided that you wanted to start Talk About It Thursdays,
how did you go about looking for venues and, you know, the day that you wanted to have it?
So I've been to a lot of hookah spots. And I definitely knew, because that's kind of like, it's kind of like a fad for our age group right now. Like, you know, you can't go to no event or venue and there's not hookah.
A lot of people
look at you weird, like, y'all have hookah? Like, I'm not, what? So I definitely wanted to have a, how do I want to say this, like an area where everyone could be included. You know, any type of person could feel welcome, any type of talent. I didn't want to shy away from anything or put it in an area where people are like, I don't want to go over there, or, you know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be centrally located. So like for people at FIU who are freshmen or sophomore who may not have a car, you can walk right across the street. So I wanted it to be centrally located. I wanted it to not shy away from anybody. And I wanted it to be an environment where people felt like they really could be themselves. And so that's what I was going for. And I, you know, knew the, not the owner, but the owner's son at Hookah Inn, and I talked to him about it, and he felt pretty good about it, and he just, you know, allowed me to throw the event there, and it grew in numbers. You know, no event just takes off. Right. Like, no event, I don't know anything besides like if you're an established artist and you know, doing your first show. But it was, even the first time we did it, we got a good substantial amount of numbers of people coming out, and it was a great night. So hopefully we can definitely continue that and definitely have more people come out. That
time, that first time that I pulled up, I was like, yo, why is this like the first time that I'm knowing about this? And if it wasn't for Hersham tagging me in the promotions that you were doing on Instagram, I would have never known. And I was like, dang, I was all, as soon as I walked in and everything was getting started, and I hear the music, and I see DJ Mari.
Yeah, shout out DJ Mari. DJ Mari, definitely. And then Marcus was the host for the night. Yeah. You know, it was, honestly, you got to pick the right people. You got to have, your host has to have personality. And sometimes I host too, but your host has to have personality. They can't be shy. They can't, you know, sheer away from, you know, possibly saying something that someone might, you got to just be open. You got to be willing to just, you know, take on the night. And Mari, of course, spins greatly. So his music was great. It just, I don't know, it just kind of flowed. It kind of, everyone had the same mindset on, I want this to be a great event, or I want this to go somewhere. So, you know, it just worked out.
I was already contemplating on coming I'm like, yo, I'm about to come back every Thursday.
So
and then I found out
it's only on first Thursdays. I didn't want to make it a every Thursday thing, just for the simple fact, you know, people get into the mood of, oh, I'll get to it next Thursday, or I'll go next Thursday, and I'll go next Thursday. And it's just, I didn't want that to become a stigma of talk about it Thursdays. And I wanted people to build up to it. And that's why I even had that, you know, $100 cash prize. And that's going to continue. You know what I mean? So it's an incentive. Plus it's a vibe, you know, and people are going to talk about it. And that's why I named it Talk About It Thursdays. And it could be on any day, honestly. But for right now, it's Talk About It Thursdays. And I can't wait to return it to you guys, especially if we're going to have more people coming out thinking it's a great vibe.
Might even consider, you know, making it a live thing.
I mean, that might even work out too. And definitely, if the numbers show up, we can do it.
So, like, what were your thoughts going into the first show, and your thought, like, the numbers weren't exactly what you projected? Were you feeling a little discouraged?
No, and the only reason I didn't feel discouraged was because self-promotion is the best promotion. And I didn't promote it as well as I thought I could. So, promoting it, honestly, that first time I did it, it was by word of mouth. It was kind of like, hey, like, I got this. I had the flyer made, and I just was kind of like sending it out through mass text and here. And I didn't have an IG page at the time. I didn't have none of that. And, you know, just right after that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to need flyers. I'm going to need more people talking about it. You know what I mean? I got to do better with the promotion. And so, yeah, it can be a little discouraging, you know, like, oh, not that many people showed up. But because people went so hard and giving it their all, even when it wasn't numbers in the crowd, that meant way more than, you know, a whole bunch of people showing up and people giving half, you know, like half performances.
Yeah.
It was just great. It was, the vibe really started from that point, and people were starting to talk about it after that night. So that's why I was like, you know what? If I increase on my promotion, I increase on people knowing and how people know, it'll go from there. And then that just so happened that night you came, it was like one of the best nights we had ever had.
Because I started seeing more, like, so, you know, you increased your promotion. What was one method that you helped increase your promotion? Because I noticed that you weren't the only person promoting it on social media.
So you definitely, if I started doing where, you know, if an artist signs up, like, you definitely get in for free, you know, and you can get, you know, a certain amount of people in free with you if you promote the flyer. So now it's not only the people I know that know about the event, it's the people that the performer knows. Because everyone has a following. Like, in this day and age, everyone has a following. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you have 10 people or 2,000 people or 200,000 people, everyone has a following. And if people know and people actually support you and they're following you for the right reasons, they're going to want to come. Period. Like, I mean, I don't know too many people who just have a bunch of friends for nothing, you know. So, so it was just great to see that people, you know, other people could promote it. And once that started happening, and I started seeing it on this person page and this person page, and hey, like, can you do me this favor, putting it out there? And I even had people who weren't even in Florida promoting it for me. Just because I wanted people to see it. And like,
you never know that those people that's not in Florida definitely probably got
know somebody that's in Florida or in Miami. And people are always coming. Like, and another reason I did it on Thursdays is because I don't know any Thursday moves. The only Thursday move I know about is Story on Miami Beach. And that's like $40.
And nobody want to drive all the way.
No one's going to want to drive to Miami Beach. No one's going to want to pay for parking. And it's like $40 to get in. And this event, it's $5 to come in, and then 10 if you want a hookah. So it just kind of worked out, and I'm still working out the kinks. It's not, you know, finished, but definitely it's going to be something great.
So, you know, we got some comments already. Herson, he just tuned in. He said Trell was good.
What's going on, Herson? I was talking about you already.
Yeah, we was talking about how you and Trell met in the Uber.
That's Uber, funny. Man. In the Uber.
Yeah, so, and Miss AK85, she asked how often is it? Is it the second Thursday, third? But, you know, we mentioned it's the, you know, the first Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be the first Thursday of the month. If you look back on the page, there's a lot of performances that have already happened. Please, you know, look at those performances. And like I said, we're on a hiatus right now. We're on a hiatus right now, trying to figure out, you know, if we're going to keep that venue, if we're going to, what Herson say?
He said, hey, that's my dog.
But yeah, like, we're just trying to make sure it's the optimal experiments, or for anybody to come and perform and actually have people in the venue who love those types of experiences. Because this is an experience at the end of the day. And if it's a great experience, you're going to want to keep coming back. Just like if you go to a club and it was the best night out ever. You're going to want to have that night, whether it's every first Saturday or every other Saturday or every Saturday. You're just going to want that experience. And if I can create that experience every single time someone comes to my event, why not?
Win. And Lonnie Boost, he said, Talented Tuesdays and Talk About It Thursdays with the eye emojis.
Hey.
Look, there might be something that we might be working on.
We might be working on that. We definitely might be working on that.
So what are some things that you're looking forward to, like, you know, improving or changing about Talk About Thursdays as you move into, you know, I guess we'll call this the second season, since, you know, you took the hiatus and you're...
Yeah, that'll be a great way to put it. Definitely putting it, like I said, in a venue. Hookah's great, but definitely putting it in a venue that is inclusive to everybody. Distance-wise, environment-wise. You know, I just want it, like I said, to be the most optimal experience. So definitely looking at the venue, definitely looking at the day. I know Thursdays kind of like those weird days, but it's like one of those days where you want to do something, but you don't want to do something crazy because you know you got to be up the next day. So that's why, you know, I chose Thursday. So it's perfect for a chill environment.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Because then Fridays, of course, you're competing with everything.
Everybody wants to do something on Friday. Everyone wants to do something on Saturday. So, and then Sunday, you're just trying to relax and go back to work the next day. So, definitely trying to make sure the day is optimal. And I think Thursday is a great day, but, you know, it's definitely worth looking into different days to see, you know, what people will actually attend on a regular. You know what I'm saying? And so, venue, date, and definitely the amount of people that know the promotion. Definitely might want to create like a promotion video that includes all the performances that have happened already. And that's pretty much the main 3 areas that I want to tackle. And
now, a lot of people, when they're watching shows and they're going to live shows, you know, they just see the finished product. Yeah. And a lot of people oftentimes forget that there's a lot of behind the scenes work that has to happen. How did you go about, you know, getting those first performances for the first Talk About It Thursdays? How did you go about, you know?
So I have to give credit to Marcus for that, because Marcus had just started, not really just started, but he was creating his rap career, I should say. And he just dropped the album August 10th too. And it just basically, he knew a bunch of people. He was already in a group of people who were poets and who were DJs and who were artists. And it kind of was like, hey, like, I'm hosting this. I really would like for you guys to come out and, you know, do this and do that. And so he had a following already that was very supportive. So he put it out there, and that's how we were able to get the performers we were able to get. We also put it out on Eventbrite. He created an Eventbrite page. And so he's definitely, like, I should say, my co-worker, like my... He actually helped develop Talk About It Thursdays as well. Okay. So, you know, we kind of meshed a lot of the ideas together. And that's why we were even capable of creating an event. So you definitely can do something on your own, but what you have to understand is when you're creating an event or creating an organization, there's always a Batman and a Robin. And it doesn't even have to be sidekick and hero. Like, there just has to be somebody with the same mindset as you to say, like, okay, I want to take this here, or I want to do this here. You know what I mean? And Marcus was with it. He's always with it. You know, like any business opportunity, anything, you know. Especially
surrounded around that, because that's in right up his alley.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just like, you always want to have that one person that believes in the goal that you want to do. And I had numerous of people, not just Marcus, but he was the guy that I knew I could communicate with and say, like, hey, like, let's get this popping and let's do this. And then he knew DJ Mari, and that's how I met DJ Mari. And it just like I said, it just started flowing. Like, certain people know certain people, and that's just where it developed from. And
so we have our first question from our viewers, and the Real McCoy, she asked, what are your future goals for Talk About It Thursdays?
I definitely want to get it to where everyone has an allotted time. So probably like 10 minutes per performance. And I actually want the night to have a theme.
Oh, you want to start doing themes?
I want to start doing themes. So whether it's love, whether it's lust, whether it's the time or how society is. Yeah, like just coming up with creative ideas, because people create songs for all of those. Like, you know, J. Cole is great for that. Like, you know, this last album he did was about pain, and you know what I'm saying? So there's different creative ways, and we also have artists that paint that come to Talk About It Thursday. So it's not just people who do poetry, it's not just people who do rap, and singing. It's any type of creativity. Any type of creativity. And it's supposed to be a creative environment. So literally, the goal is to have a specific amount of performers every night. It's also to, you know, create a creative environment for networking amongst a bunch of people. And that's hopefully where it can go, to where it's just like one of these great events where an artist who's coming in town for just the night or the weekend can be like, hey, at the end of the night, I know I want to collaborate with you, or I want to collaborate, you know, with Marcus, or just John, you know, or K Kid of Top Notch. Like, all of them, like, all of those guys are great and Freeman Willie, like all of those, like, and I'm naming artists that I've known that have actually performed at Talk About It Thursday.
Willie
So
shocked me.
Willie is the GOAT. I'm sorry. If you gotta follow Freeman Willie. I don't know if he's tuned in right now, but you gotta follow him. He's great. Just John and K Kid, all of them are great, and they've actually collaborated with each other on different tracks that they have, and those are all artists. But at the same time, like Yama, I don't think you were there when Yama performed. I think she had just went home. But all of those people are just, you know,
and you
great
mentioned
artists.
the painter, Jimmy Camille. He was a Talent Tuesdays guest.
Man, and so I was kind of upset with him because he had this fire portrait that someone wanted to buy on the spot. I think it was of Lauryn Hill. Did you get it?
I got that joke.
You got it? Oh, Alex is gonna be so mad at you. You got it for real?
I got that joke right in the room.
Is it hanging up already?
No, I'm waiting. I gotta find the perfect frame for it.
Yeah.
I need a nice frame, but
Did he put the flowers to it?
Yeah. The flowers is coming out of here and everything.
What? Yeah, man. He
was
was in the midst of like creating that masterpiece when he came to Talk About It Thursdays, and someone wanted to buy it from him right then and there, and he was like, "No, it's not for sale." Da, da, da. Oh, so you got it?
But this was like, because I was plotting on it at Talk About It Thursdays.
Oh, so two people was plotting on it,
and my friend Shanae. A lot of people was plotting on it, but it wasn't until I had him as a guest.
This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is the goal of to really answer your question. This is the goal of Talk About It Thursdays.
Yeah, it wasn't until I had him as a guest on Talented Tuesdays that, you know, I talked to him. He's like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Let me buy that."
Yeah.
You know.
See how much greatness happens when Black people work together. That's another thing. We gotta work together.
We gotta work together, man.
Period. Like, we gotta work together, and not just, you know, Black, like minorities as a period. Like, we gotta come together. We gotta be strong. We gotta work with each other, and just, you know, really show that we have more to offer. Let me see.
Oh, you brought it? Yeah, y'all gotta see this thing. Let's try and get it on here.
Oh my gosh.
Man, Jimmy the GOAT for this.
I ain't even see. He added so much to it.
The details, because he wasn't finished. That's why I don't think he was ready to sell it.
Man here.
You know, this thing.
So nice.
You see why I need to find the perfect.
You gotta go to like Michael's. Michael's has a framing section.
Yeah, Michael's. I tried Marshall's, but both times I went, I forgot the paint and I didn't know.
Measure it.
Yeah, and I didn't know. So you're not wanting to wait a little.
Gotta frame that thing there.
So yeah, we got some comments, fists, waves. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Feel free to ask some more questions. I'm gonna be wrapping up shortly. I got a couple more questions for Trell. So in the meantime, feel free to ask your questions as well. Another thing, have you ever thought about, you know, finding, because I know the Hookah Inn, they don't have food. Have you thought about like maybe finding places that have food? That would get
they don't have liquor either.
True.
And I'm not to say that every environment needs that. Don't think that every venue or every event that you have has to have that, but it helps. You know, it helps set the mood, it helps set the environment. So definitely having somewhere that could offer those things like munchies. And we even had I can't think of his name right now, but the guy that delivers munchies. I can't think of his name right now. He even came to Talk About It Thursdays that night
with all his munchies.
With his munchies, and people were buying them. So this is what I'm saying. Like, it's a vendor event, it's a creative event, it's a networking event. I just don't. It's just such a vibe, like in its own, and it's just amazing how it just progressed to what it was. It's went beyond what I thought it could be. And the fact that I have a following on IG, didn't think that would have happened. The fact that people actually come out, didn't think that would have happened. You know, so yeah, just like you said, finding somewhere that maybe have food and drinks, that'll definitely help a lot, because more people will want to come and be like, oh, I don't have to do hookah, but I can get a nice drink for the night and you know, possibly have dinner. Why not? You know,
So tell us, what has been your most enlightening experience since starting Talk About It Thursdays?
Actually, seeing you like literally collaborate
with some of the people that you had over there.
Freddie, Julie.
Yo, y'all gotta watch every person that she names right here. Make sure you go check out the episode.
Yeah, like so Freddie Julie, DJ Mari. I can't really remember who all you've had on here, but like it's just
Jimmy Camille, DJ Murray, Freddie Julie. I've had Just John.
Yeah, like so.
Got KK the Top Notch coming up soon.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like so, literally, all these people have performed at Talk About It Thursdays, and the fact that I can see what event that I've created that's collaborated for something further, like that's served one of my purposes into the world, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because Just John, do you think you would have ever met Just John if you never would have came to? Maybe by fate,
only reason I've seen Just John a dozen of times on campus. It's odd because FIU is a huge campus.
You got like 50,000 kids.
But oddly enough, Just John I've seen around campus the most out of majority of the faces that I see on campus while I'm driving my golf cart around campus. Yeah, he's the person that I see the most when school's in session, obviously. But, you know, it's at Talk About Thursdays that he actually was a guest. I think maybe a week or two right before I found out about Talk About Thursdays.
Oh, wow.
And then I seen him there, and of course it was all love. We was dabbing it up. We was talking about, you know, possibly having him on the show again, you know, ways that we can improve and all kinds of things like that. So
I mean, and then DJ Mari, like all of those, like it just, to see that it's going beyond what, you know, I think even Hurston had Freddie on his show.
Yeah, but Freddie Julie, definitely. I would have never probably had Freddie Julie.
Yeah, and he's not even, he just moved down here. And he kind of made that announcement before he performed. You know, it was kind of like his breaking in the sense of like having an environment to actually showcase his music, even though he did a couple performances on FIU's campus as well. But it just, like I said, seeing people collaborate outside of the event and being a unit outside of the event I think is probably like one of the best things out of that. Because even Marcus, DJ Mari, K-Kid, and Just John, they're all on Marcus's album.
Yeah.
And I mean, they knew each other before, but still, like, it's just like one of those things where you see people where you might have had a song or you might have had something where you were like, this just ain't right with just me, you know, or I feel like, oh, you know, Just John or KK will be perfect for this. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, you know, just having those people there to showcase their creative mindset and showcase what they can bring to the table. Why not?
Making Talk About It Thursdays maybe like a traveling type of thing. Because the reason why I asked that question is because I stumbled across this Instagram profile called The People Show, right? And I saw that they got an Apple TV. They're on Apple TV as well.
Wow.
And they basically do like a Talk About It Thursdays, but they travel to major cities, and then they try to find party promoters, event planners in that city to make it happen. I would say that could definitely be done, but I would need a year of consistency here. Yeah, definitely.
So if I can get a consistent number or a consistent amount of people every first Thursday, then absolutely I would take it on the road. And I actually even know people, you know, in different cities who are promoters and things like that, to where that could definitely happen. And even going back to places that are familiar to me. So like going back to Tampa, I know a hookah spot there that I could go to. And then going back to Savannah, it doesn't have to be at a hookah spot. Just like having venues, I know that would be great to showcase those different talents. So I mean, that would definitely take some time, and it could possibly be a part of my future. So, you know.
And it probably don't even have to be traveling like consistency. You might, like anytime you like plan a trip.
Yeah, definitely. And who knows where this will go. Yeah. You know, who knows who I'll meet, you know, through this, and hopefully, you know, with school and having more time that I'll possibly be able to have within the next year. You know, I could really grow Talk About It Thursdays and make it into something that will be very beneficial to everybody. Definitely.
That's love. So, you know, guys, like I said, wrap up your last minute questions. I got one more question
Let's see.
For Trell. You got any questions over there? No, but shout out to all the people that joined over there, though.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all. So I guess my question for you, Trell. No, matter of fact, this is I guess. This question I ask every week. Every guest gets this question, and it's the red pill or the blue pill. So you take the red pill, you go forward 10 years, and you have $5 million liquid in your bank account when you wake up. You take the blue pill, you go backwards 10 years, but you know everything that you know now. Which pill you taking?
I go back 5 years. So 5 years would be high school.
No, you go back 10 years. And you got 5.
Oh.
Yeah. So you go forward 10 or you go back 10.
Ooh.
And then if you go forward, you got $5 million. If you go back, you retain all of the knowledge that you have today.
So I'll be a very smart 15-year-old. I think I would take the 15-year-old. And the only reason I say that, I mean, is because I'm a firm believer in education changes things. So if I know what I know now, after all the experiences, emotions, money is great, but if you know or have experience being broke, then you can budget. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you go to the brink of being broke, after being broke and then getting money that you can actually manage and budget, if I can do that at 15, you know how much money I'm gonna have when I hit 25?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely would go back 10 years and make a difference. Like, there's a lot of things that I see a lot of young individuals doing, and it's like, man, if I could have did that when I was young, because back then I was just focused on athletics. Like my grades and stuff, books, that was easy to me. That was always, you know, something that was in the bag. But, you know, I was definitely focused on athletics and trying to be, you know, the best basketball player that I could be for my potential. You know what I mean? And I knew I didn't want to play after college. So, you know, I was kind of staying in that mediocre range.
Yeah, that's extremely relatable.
You know, being 15 and having the knowledge that I have right now, I mean, I could go anywhere. But, you know, to be honest with you, I wouldn't change the schools that I went to because the experience is crazy. Yeah. Right? Like, if I would have never got a HBCU experience, like, I probably wouldn't, not necessarily not have the understanding of what it is to truly, like, be black, but be around different black people. Yeah. Because there's different types of blacks. Yeah. There's different types of blacks. And, you know, we always get caught up in this whole, like, oh, this person is, like, white and this person acts this way, and that's not the case. Like, everyone's raised differently, but our culture is in a whole unique in its own. So the fact that I got that experience and then I came down here and I had to, you know, get culture shock and be like, it even empowered who I was even more, because you kind of have to stand up for it more. So if to know all those things at 15, man. Yeah, so I'm bump the money, because the money gonna come. The money gonna come. Like, if I know at 15 I can invest, if I know at 15 who I want to be surrounded by, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, relationships, honestly, if I was 15 again, I'd be single. See, I dated someone for 6 years when I was 15. So. Oh, and then now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was 6 years gone.
Yeah, 6 years gone. I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
So if I was 15 again, I would definitely stay single. For all the young ones that's following, stay single and build you. Like, that would I would work definitely. On you, definitely. I would build me more than anything. And you're still gonna work on yourself regardless of what age you are. Because you can always be a better you. If you're not always chasing a better you or being the better you, you're not achieving anything. You're not striving to be anybody. Yeah. So
every day you should evolve into a better version of yourself. You.
And I used to say this, and I stopped saying this, and I don't know why, but every day that you wake up, try to be better than you were the day before. That's a model that I live by, and if you don't, you gotta switch it up. You gotta switch your game up. Okay. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Trell, I appreciate you for getting on the show. It's been a pleasure. At this time, just plug yourself in. Tell them we can find you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when do you expect to talk about it?
So I'm probably gonna bring it back at the beginning of 2019. Okay. Just because this semester is a big semester for me in the sense of, like, my doctoral program. So I definitely want to knock that out, focus on that. And then when it comes to January, I would be on the lookout for January because it's going to be planned to be an experience. Like I said, it's going to be a great experience. So. Okay.
So yeah, plug yourself in. Tell us where we can find you and everything like that.
Definitely at Talk About It Thursdays. Follow that so you can keep up with all information. At Black Miami Official is the Black Miami page that you can get in contact with so many great intellectuals, and as well as it's Trell Baby, and you can follow me on IG as well as Snapchat.
And I just dropped all those @ names in the comment section that you can, you can go back.
And through all of those, you can contact me. So you have any questions or know anybody that wants to participate in Talk About It Thursdays when it does come back around, or anybody that's interested in knowing what Black Miami does, by all means, DM me. And we'll just go from there.
Okay. And seeing no more questions, you guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate your comments and the questions that you did have. Again, my name is QuiySpeaks, your host, aka Mr. 215 305. This is Talented Tuesdays, brought to you by the GoldenKey Foundation, developing leaders one step at a time.
All right.
We out.
We out.